VGRT Gaming Podcast, episode 687, recorded on June 21st, 2023.
Hello, welcome to the 687th edition of the TD Gaming Podcast and 520th episode of Video Game Roundtable. My name is TJ Denzik.
I'm Scott Dirk.
And I am Jonah Falcon.
The VGRT Gaming Podcast focuses on game news from around the industry.
Yeah, so we delayed one day, but actually it worked out since there was a Nintendo Direct today. So I quickly got myself up to speed, and I can see why a lot of people were meh about this one too. There's certain reasons, but, we'll get into it. Anyways, we're not going to talk about what we've been playing lately, unless you really need to talk about what you've been playing lately. TJ, are you reviewing something that you can't talk about?
Not anything in particular that I would care to talk about that much. I've been still hitting Street Fighter 6 pretty hard.
Oh, I started playing Midnight Suns.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Just started?
Just started, yes. Just got past where you create your own character and they fight Fallen Venom, and that's where I stopped after I defeated him. I'm also playing Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, the first game, and I love that game, but now I see how the sequel spoiled me, because there's a lot of things that are in the sequel that are not in the original, which make life a lot easier. Anyways, we'll have some quick news. First, Geoff Keighley says a woman was due to appear on Summer Game Fest stage. Melanie Liburd, who stars in Alan Quake 2 as its new co-protagonist, was due to appear at one point, but she had prior things. And the thing is, okay, Geoff, why was there only one? If you watched the Microsoft Game Fest, they had women who were developers, who were community managers, who were involved with the game. You're telling me you could only find one woman, and that was one of the, and only because she was a voiceover actress? Because little hint, Melanie Liburd, video games are not her forte. She does voiceover and she does acting. She's not there to talk about games, really. So you can only find one, huh?
Yep.
Guess he's not very good at finding that sort of thing.
I guess. I know this will make TJ a little sad. Callisto Protocol's first and last story expansion finally arrives next week. Final Transmission is the final chapter of Krafton's Dead Space-like survival horror game. It flopped badly, and this is what happens when they flop badly. Just like Mass Effect Andromeda. Mass Effect Andromeda never even got to DLC. There was planned DLC, but they just cut it when they realized it wasn't going to make any money. There's only one expansion for the Callisto Protocol. I know you still like the game, TJ. Are you going to get the DLC?
I liked the main course of the game. I hated the ending. The last boss is an absolute fucking asshole. I'm glad I finished it, because I don't think it's the worst game. I don't think it's even that bad of a game. It's just
Do you think if they had more traditional combat, people liked it better?
Maybe, because a lot of people's issue with it was that it was like they went in there expecting it to be
Dead Space.
Dead Space, and it's not. It's like it's almost more like Punch Out than it is like Dead Space.
Okay.
But
Punch Out with aliens, and by aliens I mean the movie Aliens.
Yeah, and I like it because I like Punch Out, and I like I like the way in which you can combo enemies and work around them and duck and weave and do all your shit.
So wait, you're saying that the final boss was Mike Tyson?
The final boss is. He just throws all of the foundation that you've been building up throughout the gameplay out the window.
For those who don't know, Mike Tyson was the final boss in Punch-Out. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah, and like the final boss, he has a shell on his. The only way you can damage him is by shooting him in the head. He has a shell on his head that you have to blow up before you can actually start damaging him. He can almost one-hit kill you, and then when he starts to get down in health, he starts summoning exploding dudes that just fill the arena and chase after you while you're trying to deal with him and not get killed by him. And it's just a nonstop. It's a nonstop gauntlet of bullshit, is what it is.
It really doesn't sound fun. That sounds.
Was this game made by SNK?
No, it was like, but they could have. Like the way that this boss was SNK boss hard.
Oh, I remember Dead or Alive 3, and that girl, that green gooey girl, just irritated the hell out of me. I had to find an exploit to beat her, you know.
Mm-hmm. I just think it's like they had a pretty decent build up throughout the game, and then they just kind of tripped over themselves on that last boss and made the game very unfun to finish.
Yeah. And now next we have Fanboys Go Wild. And by the way, there's two parts to this now. First, fanboys are upset. PlayStation fanboys are upset that Ratchet & Clank is coming to PC. Oh, the horror. Oh my God. People who don't own a PlayStation will be playing Ratchet & Clank. They may as well just seppuku themselves right now.
I don't know why anyone would be offended over any game coming to multiple consoles. Well,
it's not a console, it's PC.
Or platforms. But I've also really never understood the console wars rhetoric.
Right. And then more recently, there's a petition with 2,000 signatures. I think a lot of them are mocking the petition, in which someone says Starfield should be on PlayStation because it deserves to be on PlayStation, or else it'll fail if it's not on PlayStation. Not noticing that on Steam, Starfield is the #1 pre-order that you pay for.
Yeah.
And the $300 special edition is sold out.
See, and I would be thrilled if Starfield came to PlayStation 5 because that's the platform I would prefer to play it on. But I'm not going to sit here and sulk about it. It is what it is. And if it comes over, it comes over. But until then, I guess I'll just figure out how to play it on PC.
It's going to be on Steam, and everybody's already talking about the kind of mods that Starfield's going to have because it's a Bethesda game, meaning it's going to have a billion mods for it. Just look at Skyrim and Fallout.
Yeah, they'll have all sorts of skins, I'm sure, for the ships, for the people, and.
Oh, by the way, if God of War never came to Steam, you would have never had that mod that turned Kratos and his son into Homer and Bart. And Baldur into Flanders.
Yeah, there are some really good ones. But I'm happy to see Starfield is looking so good. Yeah. I do hope that it comes over to PlayStation someday, but I'm not mad that
it's not going to. Microsoft has made it very clear. It's going to listen to Microsoft's wording. It's going to be on Xbox and platforms which have Game Pass on it.
Sure.
That's a message to Sony. Put Game Pass on us. If you put Game Pass on it, well, guess what? You'll get to play it. Oh, by the way, I have the $300 collector's edition of Starfield because I want the watch, baby. I want that watch.
The watch does look sweet.
I mean, because I don't have, not a smartwatch. I don't have one, so that might as well be my first.
Yeah, and it looks like a dope-ass watch. It looks very cool.
I might get the controller. I think the controller is going to be sold out. I'm pretty sure, without looking, it's probably sold out now if it's been in pre-order. Because that is a nice controller. I'm ambivalent about the headset. I don't really care about the headset, but the controller looks nice.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been watching videos. I've been picking apart a lot of the video, and when they were examining the combat, I had an epiphany, and I said, "Wait a minute, they're using the same exact system as FTL. The same exact system. And when I mentioned that, someone else said, well, yeah, Todd Howard said that FTL was one of the inspirations. So there you go.
Yeah.
I got to start playing FTL again at some point. I've
It's
never
a good
beaten
one.
it. I have never beaten it. Vampire Survivors is getting couch co-op multiplayer for up to 4 players. It'll be released on August 17th with a free update. It'll allow you to play the entire game with all updates and DLCs with friends or foes. It's not going to have any online multiplayer. It's strictly couch co-op, or kind of co-op, because you can screw around with your friends anyway.
Co-op and Vampire Survivors sounds perplexing. I don't really.
Everybody will share the same XP bar, and everybody will have their own score.
Do you have to fight over weapons and pickups?
Well, whoever picks it up first, yeah. So it's going to be purely a who can do this best thing, you know? Because here's the thing: those maps are wide, so you can imagine 4 people are just going to spread out. So yeah, I mean, it's nice. It's going to be free, and I have a game that's couch co-op called Stab, 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 and I really wish it was online. But you know, couch co-op is retro, so enjoy. I mean, the entire game is retro, so it might as well have retro multiplayer.
Yeah, and I mean, it sounds like you said, or like we were saying, it sounds more competitive than co-op. But
it's co-op, you can't kill each other, but
you can't?
No. You know, you've seen the weaponry everybody will get at some point. I mean, it'd be impossible not to kill somebody.
Right, but I mean, like,
it's
snaking a weapon from under your right under your friend.
No, but I think you might be able to, draw enemies to a player that they can't handle it, that sort of thing. You know, like I said, I think it's going to just be competitive in terms of who scores the most. Because every play that you have of Vampire Survivors, it does give you a score.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's talk about Nintendo Direct. So, a lot of people were annoyed by the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Hidden Treasure DLC because, A, they didn't really say anything, and B, they took 10 minutes to do it.
Yeah, like I was actually perplexed watching the first half of this Nintendo Direct, because a lot of it was stuff that we'd already known about in previous either previous directs or previous Summer Game Fest stuff.
And it had frame rate issues. How can you have that on a direct? Isn't it pre-recorded, or was Nintendo doing this live?
I have no idea. If it was specifically during Pokemon, then that might have been a Pokemon thing.
Yeah, I mean, some other people said that the base game's issues made them not care anyway. So
yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was, but like you're right, there was a lot of issues in that game, and some of them for the better, and some of them for the worst. Like I remember the dinosaur bike that you get your hands on. I was able to like cheese part of the game by jumping backwards up a mountain, and I skipped a bunch of it. And I was like, I like this bug. It's a time saver. But there was also a whole bunch of other stuff that just has pissed a lot of people off, like frame rate issues, Pokemon, like characters just falling through the world, just all sorts of shenanigans.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure Scott is interested in this, and we have Detective Pikachu 2 coming out this year on October 6th. It's good. Of course, Pikachu is going to be fully voiced, just like the movie. What did you think?
That did look interesting. I like mystery games, and if this is a detective mystery game, I think this will be fun. And it's a fully voiced character, so it'll, this looks like a nice story to check out. I'm actually interested because I like mysteries, and a little bit of tongue-in-cheek humor is good too.
Yeah, why is it Tim Goodman and not Ash Ketchum though? That's just strange to me.
I don't know. They wanted to.
He's dressed exactly the same as Ash too.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they're just tired of that main character. I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna revolve around Mewtwo, but it's still gonna be a mystery. So
It looked like a lot of plot points that were right out of the movie.
Yeah, it did seem like that.
yeah. They remastered the Super Mario RPG.
That looked really good.
First came out in '96.
I remember playing it on the SNES, and this looks like a faithful remaster remake.
Yeah, Super Mario RPG: Legend of the Seven Stars.
Yeah, so you're gonna be able to play it on Switch.
I love that they're not trying to reinvent it. They're giving it a graphical update.
Oh yeah.
They're making it look pretty, and they're leaving the turn-based combat and exploration and the characters and all the stuff you find intact.
They did a great job with Link's Awakening, so this looks like that's more of that, and I really liked the graphical update, and you could see all the characters that were in the previous game, and it's really good to have that, another turn-based game, and maybe this will inspire more Mario RPG. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I like these.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of people have said since Thousand Year Door, the Paper Mario RPGs just went downhill. Maybe they'll start a new Super Mario RPG period, not Paper Mario, just the RPG.
Yeah.
There's a lot of folks that the original Super Mario RPG had like an all-star cast of developers on it. There was a lot of star talent from both Square Enix and Nintendo on that game. I saw today that one of the original co-directors confirmed he was not working on the project. But the composer is coming back to do the music, which is great.
Princess Peach is getting her own game, but they'll say nothing about it. Here's the entire press release. Princess Peach will star as a main character in her own new game, which will be available in 2024. Stay tuned for more information about this game in the future.
Yep.
That's it. Nothing else. So I'm going to take a guess and say it's going to be a platformer, a 3D platformer, like Super Mario Odyssey and stuff like that.
I think that's a good guess there. I mean, usually that's what a lot of these Mario games are, is platformer. But I thought they showed some
abilities,
game shots.
She showed some abilities. She's able to interact with NPCs and enemies, and she can do things. But it's going to be like puzzle-focused stages, like in Super Mario 3D Land.
I like that. I like puzzles.
Yep.
And
whatever. Princess Peach is getting her own game.
I think my daughter would love that. Just saying.
Speaking of Nintendo characters, WarioWare is back.
Oh yeah, WarioWare.
WarioWare Move It. Over 200 micro games. Just basically, it's like a party game sort of thing, I don't know if anybody played Air Larry, which is hilarious.
I haven't really played many of the WarioWare games. Like, I see the appeal behind them, but also it just doesn't seem for me. It seems like a very pick up and play and then put down and leave it alone for a while thing. Where you can only get so much enjoyment out of it in one sitting.
The only thing I don't like is that it's a motion control game. So
yeah.
Motion control is so 2010. You don't need just you have a screen. Just make it a touchscreen thing. Make it like a cell phone game.
Yeah.
The biggest news, staying with Mario, is Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which is going to be a 2D Mario game.
And co-op, which is a lot of fun. Looks like new abilities. I guess Mario can get an elephant power-up, and that's creating a lot of memes already.
Yeah.
Elephant Mario!
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Rayman showed how good co-op can be in a platformer. So.
Also, the existence of Elephant Mario implies the existence of Elephant Yoshi, Elephant Peach, Elephant Toad, and Elephant Luigi.
Here's the thing. Yeah, here's the thing. This game is going to have Peach and Daisy.
Uh-huh.
And also Toad and Luigi, but you finally have Princess. You know what I would have liked is if they had a secret character and it's Pauline.
Or
Elephant, all of them.
That's good. Yeah.
I would like to,
Also, there's another power up where you grab a flower and it just makes the whole stage trip balls. I love that.
I think I saw a shop where Mario was holding his hat like it was an inflatable balloon. He was floating a little bit, so it looks like there's that ability. Yeah, it looks good, and it's nice to have another Mario co-op game.
They came out strong for Mario today.
Oh yeah.
We got Super Mario RPG coming in November, Super Mario Bros. Wonder coming in October. That Peach game's coming in 2024, and did we see a date for Luigi's Mansion Darkman?
Yeah. There's a 3DS remake.
Yeah. Did they put a date on it?
For that one, I'm not sure.
Either way, that was like the one Luigi's Mansion you can't play easily anymore, so getting that on Switch is great.
They can't... It's like there was such a dearth of Mario-themed content in the past few years, and all of a sudden they're just spitting it out all at once.
Yeah, there was a lot of people asking about it since the movie did so well, and Mario was like, all right, here it is, all of it. Now shut up for the next one.
Another game that interests me is Dragon Quest Monsters, The Dark Prince. It's going to take Dragon Quest Monsters, and I remember playing Dragon Quest Monsters back when it was only Enix, not Square Enix. And it's going to do some genetic splicing, too. Mm-hmm. So this is actually a game from 1998, so they just remastered the original game.
Yep. It was interesting to see the monster fusion mechanics.
Yeah, I played the sequel way back in the day. Because here's the thing.
Did they have monster fusion in the old one?
They had mating. Yes.
Ah, okay.
They had mating, and you could have two different types of monsters mate, and maybe you'd get a special monster. The thing is that the reason why I liked Dragon Quest Monsters 2 so much was that I was already bored to tears with Pokemon. It was the same game over and over, and Dragon Quest Monsters 2 just took it and showed what you could do if you just moved ahead. You know, there was a lot of stuff in that game, a lot of things to do, which there wasn't really much to do in except explore and talk to people and fight in gyms. That's all you did in Pokemon. Yeah. Dragon Quest Monsters 2 let you do a lot of things. So I would say if you haven't played Dragon Quest Monsters, get it, because it's really good. Oh, yeah, I forgot. The other thing is Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon is getting a remake for the Switch. It's the 3DS game that you're plopping onto the Switch.
Yeah. Which, like I said, I don't know what the date is on that, but it sounds like it's coming pretty soon.
We also have Pikmin 4 coming.
Yep. We got to see glow Pikmin today, which are like you can only find them at night, and they help kind of light your path as you're wandering around in the dark. That game has looked fun as far as just like the new stuff they're adding on, because the glow Pikmin are the second new Pikmin they've shown. Previous one was ice Pikmin, which allow you to freeze up a monster and then shatter it into pieces, which sounds terrifying from the receiving end.
Oh.
But that game is looking silly and fun.
Oh, by the way, this will make Scott really, really happy, and I'm pretty sure he was extremely happy when they first showed it. But they're remaking Star Ocean 2.
Oh, yes. Very excited for that. It's in HD 2D. Loving that style. They updated the portraits, which look really nice, and the whole game is voiced now, and they have the lip syncing. And it just looks like a real big improvement. And I've never completed this game before. And I would love to.
You know what game it looks like, don't you? It looks like Eden Chronicles 100 Heroes.
It was my favorite announcement of the entire Direct because I too am a huge fan. I've actually beaten Star Ocean 2. It's not easy. The last mandatory dungeon of the game is like a 100 floor tower. And there's like a boss on every 10th floor. And it's a huge pain in the ass to beat the 10 wise men, as they're called. um, are, and then like some of the features that they showed in that trailer look dope as hell too. Like it used to be that you could only use the 4 characters that you have in your party.
Oh yeah, I like that.
But it's looking like they are adding access to be able to use the abilities of characters you have in reserve and combat alongside the ones that you have in your party. That's cool. I like that a lot.
That reminds me of Chained Echoes, where you could call in someone. You would switch characters in Chained Echoes, but in this one it looks like you just get them to have abilities active. Because I always felt it was weird that you'd have a small part of your party attack while the others are just like chilling and watching. Hey, look, they're fighting. We're just going to stand here and watch. Mm-hmm. But that's cool. It makes it more. It adds more complexity to the combat. And action is really difficult for me, so I know just having more options helps. I prefer turn-based, but this game holds a real special spot in my nostalgia because it just has really wonderful music, really nice characters, and always just gorgeous art. And you're exploring a new planet, and you're stranded on it trying to figure out what's going on there.
Yeah. You're like a future sci-fi. Well, one of the characters is like a Federation officer of a Star Trek Starfleet, and he crash lands on like a world that's stuck in the Middle Ages and has magic. And it's just Star Ocean, the second story, is I'm with Scott. That's probably one of my favorite RPGs of all time. And it's great to see what they're doing with it. Surprising to see that Star Ocean remake, or the 2D HD remake, is going to come out before Dragon Quest III's remake is going to come out. We haven't seen anything about Dragon Quest III since they announced it in like 2020.
By the way, I forgot to mention they're also remaking. They remastered Pikmin 1 and 2, and they're out now on the Switch.
Yep.
The new originals, you have Silent Hope, which is by Xseed. It's a action RPG with crafting elements in it. It's cartoony, but it looks good.
Yeah. It did look fun. It looked like a Saturday morning cartoon with that cell shading.
Wait, are you talking about Myth Force or Silent Hope?
Oh, I'm probably thinking of Myth Force.
Yeah, Silent Hope is an Xseed action RPG. So you have your typical, Chibi characters, but it also has a crafting element which looks interesting. Basically a Diablo, but cute. Yeah. Myth Force reminds me of the game that came out by Volition. Remember them? Agents of what was the name? Agents of Change? Agents of I forgot the name of that game. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? No.
Agents of Mayhem?
Agents of Mayhem, yeah. Because that was another game that that relied heavily on Saturday morning cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying in terms of theme.
Myth Force also relied on you caring about Johnny Gat.
Oh, God. Why? Why the What about Johnny Gat is supposed to be so friggin'... Anyway, Myth Force is coming multi-platform, so...
I gotta say, my second favorite thing from this, Penny's Big Breakaway. That was a genuine surprise.
Okay.
The moment they said, from the team behind Sonic Mania, I was in. And then they sweetened the pot by saying that T. Lopez is doing the music for it, which, if you don't know, T. Lopez was the composer on Streets of Rage 4, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, the original Sonic Mania, and quite a few other great projects. Like, that guy has been making awesome soundtracks, and I'm really excited to see what the Sonic Mania team does with, like, a completely new IP.
Yeah. Otherwise, it was just a bunch of ports that are coming. Batman games, Metal Gear Solid games, Myth Force was released last year, Gloomhaven is based on the board game. That was released a long time ago on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
So other than that, it looks like this year Nintendo Direct was just basically, we're going to show you all the Mario stuff, and you're going to like it, damn it.
I'll definitely like the Mario stuff, and I think the others were interesting too. I was surprised to see Gloomhaven, and it's nice to have it on there if you don't have it on Steam or don't have Steam.
By the way, the other reason why I think Princess Peach game is going to be a 3D platformer is that none of the other games were 3D platformers. Super Mario Brothers is a 2D platformer, and and the others are not. It's like, I'm pretty sure they're just getting Princess Peach. They're not announcing a new Luigi's Mansion game aside from the remake of the 3DS game.
There has been a Princess Peach game before, but I
don't
can't remember what kind of game it was.
No, it was probably one of those edutainment games. Wait, there was on the DS, that DS game.
Yeah, it was Super Princess Peach.
Yeah, in which she used her emotions to do things. Like if she cried, you got this weapon.
Oh, I remember that now. Yeah, she'd walk around crying on everything.
Well, not just crying, but yeah. That was one of her powers. At least in Mario vs. Rabbids, Princess Peach gets a shotgun. Yeah, I'm not crying this time. Blammo.
Yeah.
That was a gorgeous game, though. But I'm interested to see if they stick around that sort of style of like. No,
I'm pretty sure it's going to be. I'm pretty sure she's going to be a girl boss in this game, in the 2024 game. She's going to be Gilbert's platformer.
Some folks were saying that she doesn't have her crown, and it could be before she was princess.
Possible.
I don't know.
She always says that. That always happens to her in every game, like in the sailing game. What was the name of that Zelda game in which he's in the boat? You know what I'm talking about?
Wind Waker?
Yeah, in Wind Waker, she was a pirate, and then she became a princess, and then she stopped being a pirate, which sucked.
That's Zelda, not Peach.
Oh, never mind then. Okay.
Peach almost always has her crown, but she doesn't.
What are you talking about?
Well, Zelda never has her crown. It's like she always has to rediscover she's a princess, and then when she becomes a princess, she's no longer a badass.
She's an adventurer in the new games, which
yeah, that's true. She's out there going with Link and checking out the ruins. She was Sheik in Ocarina of Time.
Yeah. I just think it's interesting that she doesn't like. This is one of the first few games where I've seen Peach without her crown, except for like Super Mario Sunshine, where she was on vacation.
Okay, we're gonna move on. I think we've talked enough about the Nintendo Direct. There's not much to talk about really, aside from what we already spoke about. Microsoft says it's officially done making new Xbox One games. This comes from Eurogamer. 2.5 years after the launch of the Xbox Series XS, Microsoft has officially said goodbye to the previous generation, with Xbox Game Studios boss Matt Booty now confirming no internal development team working on new titles for the Xbox One. Booty shares the news on the conversation with Axios, revealing all 23 of Microsoft's Xbox studios, aside from the ones that are currently doing ongoing games like Minecraft and Sea of Thieves, have moved on to Gen 9. Despite that shift in focus, Booty says that the company still plans to maintain support for Xbox One by making its Gen 9 titles, that is, games specifically for the Xbox Series SX, playable on the older platform via its cloud streaming technology. Xbox Game Studios shift to Xbox Series X. I'm just going to say SSXS or whatever. It's the next Gen 9, right? Has been anticipated, but it's only recently started to manifest in Microsoft's release lineup. The company's remaining 2023 titles, namely Forza Motorsport and Starfield, are both foregoing the Xbox One in favor of the Gen 9 and PC, and that the trend continues into 2024 and beyond, when first-party games including Avowed, Hellblade 2, and the new Fable are set to make their eagerly waited debut. This is not really news. They always do this. Here's the thing. Third-party developers will continue to support the Xbox One. And they always do that. They always support the last generation for as long as possible, usually even until the next generation pops up. But here's the thing. Here's what's different. At least people who own the Xbox One won't be left in the dust if they have Ultimate and they're streaming. It's like, yeah, you don't have a physical copy, but if you have Game Pass Ultimate, you'll still be able to play the games via cloud streaming, which is kind of cool. You don't need to play. You don't have to wait. You don't have to buy the new console just yet. You can play it on your old console. It's a long silence. Hello? Nothing to say? Uh-oh.
I'm sorry, I was muted. Yeah, it was honestly interesting that, like, that it lasted this long, where we were still seeing games that were being made for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. I mean, we were getting to the point where like new games that we've seen coming out lately didn't have PS4 and Xbox One on the list. But
yeah, it's the hard drive. It's the HDD now.
But we're to the point. But we're what, like
2.5 years. 2.5 years.
2.5 years into the console cycle, which I would say that was a longer time than anyone could have asked for them to continue to support. And I think a part of that was the pandemic and the.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's been a shorter time because not a lot of people were able to get the new consoles.
Right. And I think that's a big part of why they continued to support the old consoles, was that they knew that people couldn't get into the new generation as easily. But yeah, it's about that time.
Now I'm thinking about Starfield again. I have the launcher installed now.
Yeah, and like I can't even like there's been like talk about like how many games have been held back by or taken longer or been delayed because they're trying to make it work on something like PS4 or Xbox One. And I don't know how much that affects like some of the AAA games that are going on, but I have to assume that trying to cram that much quality into a PS4 or Xbox One game is probably not easy.
One thing, I don't know if we discussed this last week, but they said that Avowed is going to be, a smaller area, but it's going to be like more focused, like the Outer Worlds size. And then we found out that Assassin's Creed Mirage is going to be in a single city, and it's also going to be smaller and more focused. And here's the thing. I'd rather have that than a wide open space of nothing.
You remember my theory? I'm curious to see if it turns out to be true. I'm kind of curious to see if the new Assassin's Creed ends up being built more like Hitman, where you have various large-scale locales with different missions that you need to complete in each one.
It's going to be a lot more they're going to stress the verticality. I remember playing the first Assassin's Creed in which you had to just do little things before you could actually make your assassination. And there was only 3 cities, but you were always focused in one city, which wasn't the biggest thing in the world. Anyways, we're going to move on to... go ahead. Yeah, okay.
I was going to say, like, you're probably right, but I would like to see them go in the Hitman direction, because I think that Assassin's Creed is a series that would lend itself well to that style.
They did go in the Hitman direction when they released the first Assassin's Creed. What are you talking about?
I mean, in terms of like having each.
I'll repeat myself.
Areas.
I'll repeat myself. They did that with the first Assassin's Creed. What are you talking about? Anyways, go ahead. No, I mean, go ahead with the next news item, TJ.
Xenonauts will invade our world.
Xenonauts 2.
Xenonauts 2 will invade our world this July from PC Gamer. Hotly anticipated tactics game Xenonauts 2 finally has a release date, July 18th, 2023. 7 years since it was confirmed and 6 years from the first demo. Developer Goldhawk Interactive and publisher Hooded Horse have announced that it'll release into early access on Steam. Xenonauts 2 is a game in the vein of XCOM, but rather than the radical redesign of the original formula that was XCOM 2012 and its sequels, Xenonauts 2 is a less direct sequel and more of a reimagining of the original vision, featuring a modern engine, a new setting, and refined mechanics built for longtime fans and new strategy gamers alike, according to the press release. Where Xenonauts diverges from modern-day XCOM games and more resembles the Enemy Unknown of the 90s is in its hardcore combat realism and complex strategic simulation. Managing different fronts of the war is crucial, requiring you to defend your bases against enemy assault, while expanding your organization to cover larger areas of the globe. I have been watching this game for a little bit. I haven't been watching it for years, but I have been watching it like this year, and it looks very interesting, and it does look very much like the full-on old-school XCOM.
What worries me is that that's the exact same terminology they use to describe Phoenix Point, and I did not like Phoenix Point.
Yeah, I can see. I can see why. Like, there was a lot about Phoenix Point that just felt very, very, very foreign to normal XCOM.
And it was made by the developer from the original XCOM, so it's not like it was coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Sid Meier is smart, and he streamlined XCOM so it was, fun. Here's the thing. If it's combat realism, that's fine. If it's complex strategic simulation, that's fine. Just make sure it's fun, It's not video work, it's video games.
Yeah. And for what I can see, there is a lot to manage. Like you've got the global scale command center and support from nations like in the original XCOM. You've also got like aircraft that can run missions while you're doing your thing. You got base building for your own facility, and then you've got on the ground combat with your soldiers. So it looks like there's going to be quite a bit to handle in this game.
What I do like is it has a very retro look. It looks like an Amiga game. Looks like a game for the Amiga or the Atari ST.
Yes, and there's still like even despite looking that way, there's like a level of quality to like the combat and the animations that it's quite fun to watch.
Yeah, it's like the best game ever from 1994.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cautiously optimistic. I'll probably get a review copy, so we'll see.
This is set to come out in July 18th.
Yeah. Anyways, final news item. Respawn worked on Titanfall 3 for 10 months, and this comes from IGN. Respawn Entertainment worked on Titanfall 3, quote-unquote, in earnest for 10 months before ditching it for Apex Legends, a former developer has revealed. Mohammed Alavi, who became the narrative lead designer on Titanfall 3 before it was cut, told the Burnett Work, that's a weird site, the Burnett Work, that much work of the sequel had been done. Titanfall came 3, did what it did, and we were just like, okay, well, we're gonna make Titanfall 3. And we worked on Titanfall 3 for about 10 months, right? In earnest. We had new tech for it. We had multiple missions going. We had a first playable, which was to be on par, to be just as good, if not better than whatever we had before. We were feeling pretty decent about it, but not the same feeling as Titanfall 2, where we were making something revolutionary. You know what I mean? So what happened, according to Olavi, was a combination of the multiplayer team having issues with making an experience that didn't burn out players too quickly, and the explosion of Battle Royale genre with the release of PUBG in 2017, also known as a blight on the computer game world. Respawn developers are seemingly more far interested in playing a Battle Royale map with Titanfall 3 classes the team put together than any standard Titanfall multiplayer modes they were working on. This prompted a realization: ditch Titanfall 3 and make Apex Legends. In September 2021, Titanfall's community coordinator Jason Garza said it was unlikely Respawn would develop Titanfall 3, as was focusing on improving Titanfall 2 and Apex Legends. That is bullshit. But we'll continue on. The latter of which has quickly grown in popularity since it was shadow dropped over 2 years prior. Titanfall 2 fell short of its projected sales, but still managed to gain a cult following. Respawn also shifted its focus to Star Wars following the success of Star Wars Fallen Order and its sequel, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, launching on April 28th. Director Stig Asmussen said he wants to make Cal Kestis' story a trilogy. Horseshit. Here's the thing. Notice they're only talking about the multiplayer. I didn't give a rat's ass really about the multiplayer. I cared about the single-player campaign. And I wanted to see what happened next in Titanfall 3 as a single-player campaign. And Apex Legends doesn't have mechs, so who cares?
Yeah. I gave up on Titanfall. Like there was a period of time I loved Titanfall 2, and I liked Apex Legends when it started. I do not care for where Apex Legends has gone since in the season since. I think I quit around season 6, and I've popped in every now and then to see if any of the new season content grabs me. It doesn't. That game is it's just not as fun as Titanfall in my opinion. And I think the first few seasons were as fun as Titanfall. But at a certain point I miss everything that Titanfall did with the fact that you had the on the ground shooting, the ability to traverse the map with grappling hooks and stuff. And then you had people just call down giant mechs from time to time and fight each other. And like the little dudes would have the soldiers would have to navigate around these colossi.
But the soldiers are not helpless against the mechs because, as you know, right. you can rodeo them and drop a bomb in their head. But here's the thing. I love the story, and I still play Titanfall 2 single-player story because it is an excellent story. It's really engaging, and I love the ending. Protect the pilot.
Yes, and I always just thought that their machine design was so freaking cool.
It wasn't the most original thing in the world because you can see where they got all their designs from. They got it from MechWarrior.
Sure.
The Jaegers and the what are the name of the ones that are squat with a round head that look like Pac-Man walking on two legs? You know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what the name of it is.
All the designs are strictly from MechWarrior, but that's fine. I don't care.
Yeah, I just remember the one that had a beam weapon that would come out of its chest. It was one of my favorites. There was also a light mech that had a sword that was fun to use.
Yeah, I think that was the Jaeger.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the story though. I mean, it was an emotional story, and I usually don't get that emotional on these kind of stories.
Mm-hmm. So this is a really big shame, but at this point, I don't feel much for Respawn and what they're doing as far as that universe goes.
Yeah, have you noticed there's a trend though that it's trending towards single player experiences again? So hopefully Respawn is doing it with the Star Wars games. But hopefully after they make the third Star Wars Jedi game, maybe they'll go back to Titanfall and make a good Titanfall story.
It feels surprising to say in 2023 that I'm more interested in what Ubisoft is doing with Star Wars than what EA is doing with Star Wars.
Oh, that was such a great demo. By the way, I almost forgot. There's another open world from Ubisoft. It is Avatar, and that's it. No one cares. But, it looks pretty, but for me, it's like Star Wars Pandora. I mean, it's Far Cry Pandora.
But the Star Wars open world game that Ubisoft showed, that
looks good.
So fun to watch, and I wanted to play it.
You know why?
After watching it.
You know why? Because when you watch it, you can see the mechanics that are in the game and say, "Oh, that can work." It's not anything far out. It's have be able to use your animal friend to do things like distract people or press a button. I mean, it's basic stuff, and you have all these little mechanics that say, they're working together. It's working together. These are not difficult things to conceptualize, right?
And I just hope that planetary landing and leaving isn't a scripted event where it only happens a few times. I hope that yes, if I'm being chased down by Empire soldiers, I do want to get off the planet and fly off into hyperspace.
Well, you'll notice that it is connected in that you'll earn some Empire faction negatives, but if you just fly and escape without killing any of the TIE fighters, you don't have to worry about even getting more negatives. It's they got away. No, they killed our dudes. Now we're really angry.
Mm-hmm. That game looks like Grand Theft Auto Star Wars, and I'm ready for it.
It's more to me. It looks more like Middle Earth Star Wars. You still haven't played that game, and here's the thing. I'm conflicted if I should say play Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor or say fuck that game, just play Shadow of War because it's so much better.
I've never played either of them. So
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like. The story is so good though in the first game and the second game.
No, that's what I'm saying is that I probably wouldn't have the same qualms you have about going back to the first one because I don't know what I'm missing in the second one.
Oh, here's another thing. You can just watch a Let's Play of the first one and then play the second one.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're going to go listener feedback. Go ahead, Scott.
Okay. This is from Jordan. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, they did it as a Fathom event in Portland, and I went, good stuff. Nice seeing what Fable and Avowed might look like when they come out.
Wow, that's interesting. The Fathom events, right? You go to a theater, they stream something to the theater.
Okay.
They didn't have that in New York. They didn't do that in New York. I mean, I might have gone to a Fathom event if they had it here. Just go into a theater with here's the thing. It's one thing to sit in front of your computer or your TV or whatever and watch, the Microsoft Direct by yourself. But if you're in a crowd of fans, it's often something special because everybody starts cheering at once.
The internet is already talking about No Man's Skyrim. I'm cautiously optimistic. It seems very ambitious between shipbuilding, habitat building, space travel, trading combat, a room full of sandwiches. It's a lot. I do agree with Jordan. It does seem very ambitious and a lot, especially those thousands of planets that they must have, tailor made to be more than just, generic made planets.
Here's the thing. This is what I found out. The planets are procedurally generated, but not to the extent of No Man's Sky, right? But they'll be things placed on the planets randomly, right? For quests and stuff like that. So it's going to be a different game every time you play, but it's not going to be boring like No Man's Sky was for a very long time.
Just peed in here.
So what you're saying is like when I go exploring in the galaxy, a planet could show up and it will be randomly generated.
Oh no. All the planets.
Listen, let me finish. But when I get down to the planet, there could be scripted story missions that appear there because of the way that the game is set up.
All the planets are handcrafted, but what's on them can be random.
Oh, okay.
So there's going to be... Okay, so the planets are going to be semi-random in terms of what's on them. All I know, it's going to be an entire planet. You're not going to be able to explore all of it in a very short time. You just have to scan for a place that, this place has a lot of uranium. I'm going to go there. But, yeah, the missions are going to be randomized on the planets. So, plots... I think the main storyline stuff will not be randomized, or at least when you have to go to a city, you have to go to that city. I mean, that big city. Oh God, what's that big city on Alpha Centauri? It'll always be on Alpha Centauri.
I hope that the side content on the planets that are not part of the main storyline are varied enough to be interesting. Because what I don't want to see is
gather 5. Yeah, no, it's not like that.
What I don't want to see is 50 different planets with some slight variation of the same outpost of raiders that I have to go through and clear.
I don't think it's going to be like that. And a lot they said there's going to be tons and tons and tons of missions, but here's the fun part. It's usually going to be localized to where you are. So it's not going to be like, oh, we need you to go to this faraway planet and pick up this thing and bring it back to us.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a lot of crafted missions that are in all the cities.
Okay, are we ready for the next one now? Yeah. Okay, this is from Ralph. Hi guys, thanks for this huge episode. Sadly, I know none of the games. I heard about Street Fighter 6, but you skipped it.
We didn't skip it.
I don't know. I do remember TJ talking about it. The characters.
Long time.
Yeah. And then you mentioned one Metroidvania game coming, which should look very good, but I did not get the name. It was very early in the episode. Could you please tell me the name? I love Metroidvania games. I don't remember which one he could be talking about because I think there's a lot.
Look back at the previous episode notes and find out because I think I know what he's talking about. I'm not quite sure.
Is it the Spanish one?
No. It's not that one.
The only one I can think of that has really caught my eye recently is Convergence, a League of Legends story, which focuses on Echo. That was a Metroidvania game, and it uses his time shifting ability, and I think they do a very good job of implementing it. That game, it's not. I wouldn't say it's as good as Hollow Knight, but it's probably one of the closest things that I've gotten to Hollow Knight since Hollow Knight.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think it might have been in the Future Games show.
Future Games show.
Yeah. I don't remember.
Oh.
That'll be the previous episode.
Anyways, I don't remember.
Yeah, this was that's gonna drive me crazy. I'll go back and look at those things and see if I can find it.
Unless they're talking about 33 Immortals with 33 people playing together.
No, that was not Metroidvania.
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh wait, was it? Oh, maybe it was this game here. I'm trying to remember now if it was this game.
Was it the action platformer starring Ebenezer Scrooge?
No. I hate it when it does this.
That game kind of looked fun. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, you know what? It might have been Dungeons of Hinterberg.
Maybe. I don't remember talking too much about that one.
Oh, it was the 3D exploration game. That was in that looked. It looked like I nicknamed it Lo-Fi Beat instead of Hi-Fi Rush. Lo-Fi Beat. I don't know if it was I don't know if it's a Metroidvania though. See,
I'm looking through
when I think of Metroidvania game, I think of 2D games.
Yeah. I'm looking through my wish list now because I have to imagine that if I liked it, I would have put it in here.
Anyways, move on, Scott.
Okay. Let's see.
I'm playing the hell out of.
I'm playing the hell out of Diablo 4, and the words I chose were not intended to describe it.
Yeah, I know he's making it. Yeah, he played the hell out of Diablo. Hell, get it?
And as always, Magic the Gathering. Besides this, the summer is coming, and so are the concerts and festivals I enjoyed. Instead of sitting at my PC or console, I need people around me at the moment. Thanks for your effort, and I promise I try to listen to podcasts more often and comment it as I did last year. And greetings from Germany, Ralph.
Yep.
That was nice. Thank you for Ralph, and thank you, Jordan, for writing in.
For those who don't know, Jordan
used to figure out what that game was, Ralph. I can't remember right now. But
Jordan is one of our former co-hosts, and just had to write in because it was the.
And also, I am playing the hell out of Street Fighter 6. Marisa is one of my favorite things that I've ever had in a fighting game. She is a Greek goddess, and I love her. She has a move where she puts up her fists and like guards an attack, and then you can do a command throw where she shoves your face to the ground and punches you in the back of the head on the ground. And it's just the meanest thing I've ever seen in a fighting game, and it is so satisfying to end a round with it.
Very, very brutal, very savage.
Yeah. Like this 8-foot tall.
Oh, yeah. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
That was the 2D.
Yes, because we were talking about if it would be more like, if it would be completely like the original or if they would do some different things.
It's a 2D Metroidvania, straight up.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, excellent.
With the Dagger of Time and there's some time shifting mechanics, and they're going to be, and it's side scrolling like the old school Prince of Persians, which looked very fun.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
Anyways, look for our show notes at gamingpodcast.net, along with industry news and our gaming history articles. We enjoy your feedback, so leave us some comments at our blog at gamingpodcast.net. Also, hit us up at facebook.com/gamingpodcast. Subscribe to us on iTunes and leave us some iTunes comments. You can find me on Twitter at Jonah Falcon.
You can find me at Johnny Chugs.
You can find me at Shard Moore.
And we will have a new episode next week.
Happy gaming, everyone.
Have fun, be cool, play games, y'all.
And that's it.